Well, interestingly, if somebody is threatening to sue Truth Broadcast Network or me, I mean, I really don't understand the... All right, look, I got to talk to a lawyer. I got to talk to a lawyer. But it's a little confusing because we're not a company. We're not incorporated. We're not an organization per se. We're just some people who want to get the truth out, who are talking to each other and saying, hey, let's team up. Let's team up and get the truth out. I mean, this isn't rocket science. And I get an official notice from a law firm that Truth Broadcast Network is being sued. It's ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. But I'll just give you a brief overview of this, and I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do about it at this point. I literally just opened this when I got up today, which for me is about 5:30 in the afternoon. And the gist of it is that the letters TBN belong to Trinity Broadcast Network. According to them, they own those 3 letters. Now, we're going to go on screen here and do a little math because I'm no mathematician, but I know there are a lot of companies that have 3. All right. 26 times 26 times 26. Why am I doing this calculation? Because there's 26 letters in the alphabet. And so 3 letters in a row can only amount to 17,576 combinations of letters. One of those letter combinations is TBN, which could stand for Trinity Broadcast Network. It could stand for Truth Broadcast Network. It could stand for Turner Broadcast Network. In fact, maybe we'll take a glimpse at all the various things that it can and in fact does stand for. And as much as I'd like to read a little bit from this notice here, or whatever it is, and I'm tempted to, at the same time I'm thinking, well, this is the threat of a lawsuit and maybe I should be careful because if I say something... But look, this is the truth movement. We've got absolutely nothing on the face of the earth to hide. So you know what? Screw it. Let's dig in. I read it over once a little bit ago, and then I had to go out and get a bite to eat. So here we go. From the law offices of Davert and Lowe. Do these people actually represent Trinity Broadcast Network? I don't know. This is just a piece of paper. Anyway, certified mail. This office represents Trinity Christian Center of Santa Ana Incorporated. So we're dealing with a corporation here. Doing business as Trinity Broadcast Network, a corporation engaged in business. Hereinafter TBN. Please consider this letter a formal cease and desist. Well, is this letter a formal cease and desist? Because I'm leaning towards no. You're full of shit. You're trying to scare somebody. I mean, what, you think because, you know some big words? I mean, grow the fuck up. Okay, I'm trying to stay calm here. I really am. But I got a big-ass coffee. So we're going to deal with this. Alright. This is not a cease and desist. And govern your actions accordingly. As espoused Christians, you may know. TBN is a not... First off, I'm not an espoused Christian. The people on Trinity Broadcast Network are espoused Christians. They are alleged Christians. One might even say they are fake Christians. I am a real Christian, a true Christian. Somebody who actually conducts his life according to the teachings of Christ as best I can, okay? I don't sit up on stage on a golden throne and teach people how to pray for wealth. Okay? That's Trinity Broadcast Network. Honestly, I look at this and I'm like, are they fucking retarded? Why would you start a war? If you are a phony corporation being used to control the minds of men, why would you start a war with somebody who exposes mind control? Are you kidding me? But this is what they're trying to do. Now, I have to look at this and say, well, you know, obviously I'm going to have to investigate ties between the World Council of Churches and Trinity Broadcast Network. I'm going to have to look at all the people here and their ties to the different New World Order operatives, and, you know, all that's going to have to be done. But at the same time, I'm thinking, well, maybe this is just a recon mission. Because they say in here, I mean, it's just too much for me to read on air. They say in here that they want to know, let's see, where's it at? Give me a second. Something about money. Let me see. They quote the website here. TBN is a network with many decentralized resources, and we will not be shut down. That's right. We won't. And somewhere in here it says something about they want to know something about money. Be advised that our client demands that TBN and or any reference to it whatsoever be immediately removed from your website and broadcast. So I'm not allowed to talk about the Turner Broadcast Network? I mean, you don't even own TBN.com. Go to TBN.com right now. It's some software company. Why do I know this? Because I'm trying to buy it. I'm trying to buy TBN.com. Why doesn't Trinity Broadcast Network own TBN.com if TBN is so important to them? If that one out of 17,576 letter combinations is so crucial, why don't you own TBN.com? It's some lame software company. But let's see. Further, our client demands a certified accounting of any and all funds collected by you and your affiliated businesses and or organizations since you began your unauthorized and wrongful use of our client's name. We will presume that you blah, blah, blah. So, and I actually posted about this on Facebook today because this is how I see it. And you can sue me for defamation. I don't care. I look forward to showing up in court and telling people just exactly what it is we do on Truth Broadcast Network, why we do it, and why we have a problem with Trinity Broadcast Network. I look very much forward to explaining all these things, putting them on the public record, and then spreading that information around the world. That's what we're here for. Looks like there's a whole bunch of things called TBN. Transformational Business Network. Are you suing the Transformational Business Network? Because you know how much that Transformational Business Network wants to be seen as a bunch of money-grubbing Christians. What about the Birdhouse Network? Are we suing the Birdhouse Network? Or Taekwondo Bond Nederland? What about Toronto Bisexual Network? Are we going after the Toronto Bisexual? Or is it just Truth Broadcast Network that you have a problem with? And if it is just Truth Broadcast Network that you have a problem with, well, why is that? Why is it that you have a problem with Truth Broadcast Network, but you're perfectly fine with the, what was it? The Toronto Bisexual Network. That's fine. The Toronto Bisexual Network is all fine to TBN, to the Trinity Broadcast Network. But Truth, we got a problem with Truth. We can't be having Truth. That's the way it looks to me. The Bible Network. Are we going after the Bible Network, guys? Have we sent out our threat to sue the Bible Network yet? I mean, that's the Bible Network. They're trying to hone in on your racket, aren't they? Tampa Bay Newspapers Incorporated. True Believers Network. That's a religious organization. It's listed here as a religious organization. True Believers Network. Religious. I'm not trying to portray this as a religious organization. This is Truth Broadcast Network. We expose the lies in religion. The Brewing Network. The Body Network. Your threat of a lawsuit is frivolous. It is baseless. And if you think you're scaring anybody, you don't have a clue. But of course, it didn't cost you anything to use the money donated to you by Christians or supposed Christians to try and sue me for telling people what's really happening in the world. And I haven't even attacked Trinity Broadcast Network yet. I'll tell you, it's on the burner. But it's something that needs to be done right, okay? It needs to be done organized. It needs to be well researched. And that's why I have not attacked Trinity Broadcast Network yet. But if you think for 1 second, I don't know that Benny Hinn had an earpiece when he's sitting there saying, oh, is there anybody else in here? No, he's got an earpiece and everybody knows it, or they're going to. Talking about slain in the Spirit. Is that in the Bible anywhere? Slain in the Spirit? I didn't think so. And what is it, Pat Robertson talking about nuking other countries? Is that what Christ taught? Because last I remember, it was love your enemy. And I think there was a reason for that. Because the kings of the earth conspire. And the people you think are your enemy are not your enemy. So yeah, Trinity Broadcast Network is threatening to sue Truth Broadcast Network because we use the letters TBN. And let me say officially, not that the show's official, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this turn up in court evidence, that there is no way on the face of the earth I want anything to do with Trinity Broadcast Network. That would be like taking Truth Broadcast Network and rolling it in filth, in mud. We're the Truth Broadcast Network. We're not on here under some pretense that we're working on behalf. I mean, I just did a show exposing Glenn Kennedy and Project N Search and how he's calling himself, this is the only commandment God has given to you. You don't use God to control people. You don't use God to make people think the way you want them to think. I sent a message to Ann, and I'm not getting... Oh, see, she saw it. She saw it. So if she wants to take over at 11, that's fine with me. I can update the database, or maybe she's got technical issues, and maybe her internet's already off. She's getting an ISP switch. I don't know. So I'll do 1 or 2 hours tonight, depending, but I'll be switching to 1 hour a night as she starts taking over at 11 p.m. nightly. I'm pretty sure we got the times right. I mean, she's in the Central Time Zone. I'm in the Eastern. But I think we got the times right. I think the database is updated properly, and she just didn't click broadcast for whatever reason. So we're going to go on with the show here, and I guess somebody's saying that Bill Cooper has had a discussion about Pat Robertson of Trinity Broadcast Network. That seems like it should be on the schedule for today. How I will respond to this threat of a lawsuit is still up in the air. I'm a very, very aggressive person, and I do not drive between the lines. It is not important to me what happens in a court of law. What's important to me is what happens in the court of public opinion. I'm not here to change the law or to use the law against anyone. I'm here to get the people to rise up, to see the world for what it really is, to see how they're being controlled. And I see Trinity Broadcast Network for sure a part of that control mechanism run and operated by the New World Order. And we will expose that in time. And there's nothing on the face of the earth that you can do to stop us. Nothing. It doesn't matter. There's nobody, there's nothing to sue. This is a decentralized network of activists all operating autonomously, taking their own actions, making their own decisions. What are you going to sue? What on the face of the earth are you going to sue? It's laughable. It's like, you know, we go to New York and expose the Federal Reserve, and they try to sue us for telling people the truth about the Federal Reserve. You can't do it. Now, if there was some infringement on some actual patent or copyright, you might be able to say, yeah, you should stop that. But TBN, the 3 letters, There is no way in the face of the earth we have ever tried to portray ourselves as Trinity Broadcast Network, and we don't want to, and we would not want to. And I see the argument you try to make in here, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The reason, and let's go to the site now. Let's take a glance at the site, which is still loading, slow as dirt. Wow. Actually loaded quick there. And this is one of the things they mentioned they have a problem with. Does this look like we're trying to portray ourselves as Trinity Broadcast Network? I mean, look at my show. Do you think I'm trying to look like Pat Robertson? There's a machine gun in the background. This is not a religious broadcast. But one of the things they have a problem with is the TBN written here. TBN Livestream, TBN Ustream, TBN Radio, TBN Schedule. And they're saying that since I have the three letters TBN next to each other, that I'm trying to be Trinity Broadcast Network. Has it ever occurred to you that maybe I'm trying to be Truth Broadcast Network? Has that ever occurred to you? That maybe the TBN stands for the website name right there, Truth Broadcast Network. The day has never come that I have said on Facebook, oh, hey, everybody quickly tune into TBN right now because we're going live. What, you think I want people turning their television on the Trinity Broadcast Network to see us? Does that make any sense to you? Now, the reason that TBN is here is because I don't have space in the menu to write Truth Broadcast Network Ustreams or Truth Broadcast Network live streams. It's ridiculous, and in fact, I actually did it accidentally yesterday, because this link is brand new, and I titled the page Truth Broadcast Network Schedule, and when it added itself to the menu, it didn't even fit on the line. It went to the next line, so I was like, well, I got to shorten that. So I changed it to TBN Schedule, and now it fits. That's what they're bitching about. They own the alphabet. They own that piece of the alphabet. That's what they're claiming. Now, sometimes I say TBN. Sometimes I type TBN. And you know why? Because what would it sound like if every time I wanted to refer to the site or to the network or to a broadcast, if I said Truth Broadcast Network, I would sound like a snake oil salesman. Be sure to tune in to Truth Broadcast Network, and don't forget on Truth Broadcast Network, it would sound ridiculous. So yeah, I shorten it to TBN time to time, and normally that's a subconscious thing. It's quicker to say, it's quicker to type, it's easier. It doesn't sound like I'm trying to market or advertise, and that's another issue. They're actually making the allegation that we're collecting money, and they want an accounting of all the money that we and our other businesses have. Oh my God, this is unreal. It's like when the police come to shut down some 5-year-old's lemonade stand. You know what's next? They're going to beat him down and take the 5 nickels they got? We don't even have 5 nickels. There is no way on the face of the earth for anyone to donate money to us. There's nothing for sale. Truth Broadcast Network has never collected a penny from anyone, and in fact, you can ask any of the broadcasters. All we do is spend our own time, our own money, and our own energy trying to get the truth out. We have nothing to gain except awakening the population so that maybe our great-grandchildren won't live in slavery. That's what we're working for. We're not working for a paycheck, for a salary. We don't get up on a stage in a nice suit and sit on a gold throne and pray for money. We're trying to make sure the future of humanity is free, has at least some element of freedom left, that they can speak their minds. That's why we work. We don't work for money. And the very allegation that we're collecting money, or that we want to be associated with some corporation conducting business, teaching people to pray for money, is disgusting. It's disgusting. Again, I do intend to expose Trinity Broadcast Network in the future. I want to do it right. I want to do it well-researched, and I want to do it quasi-professional. Not sloppy live on air like I do everything else. So y'all can just look forward to that. I'm sure it'll be expedited on the timeline now that I got a threat of a lawsuit. Just because you pissed me off. That said, I do intend to add a lot of things to this menu, so I may take the TBNs out. When I do, it won't be because I'm worried about a lawsuit. It'll be because I got more shit to fit on my menu. Now, as I understand it, another truth activist, one who's already been assassinated by the New World Order, has already exposed somebody working at Trinity Broadcast Network, and we're going to go look at that now. See, you guys have this impression that we're a corporation, that people in the movement are making money, and it is so ridiculous. Maybe you can't get your minds around it, or maybe you know full well what's going on. Either way, we're gonna chug along, and you're not gonna stop us. So we have information that it was Bill Cooper exposing Pat Robertson. TBN, oh, I'm sorry. I don't want anybody to confuse me with that alleged Christian organization. Truth Broadcast Network is only a central hub for truth activists around the world to send their material through, to get material. It's like suing Facebook because somebody said something on Facebook you don't like. Truth Broadcast Network is only a venue, okay? There's broadcasters. I don't tell them what to say. I don't control what they say. Nobody tells me what to say. Nobody controls what I say. And there's nobody to sue. And there's no money. So you're just going to have to get over it. Well, I don't know if I can find this video or not, but let me check here and see if somebody didn't already send it to me. If I'm signed into the right account. Doesn't look like it's going anywhere. Okay, maybe we better take a little break here. Some more washing machine music while I try and get this sorted out.
The way the system's set up now, I mean, it's becoming a police state on every block. You can't walk through Penn Station without, you know, seeing armed Marines. You're basically bringing kids up to believe that this is how life is supposed to be, and it's not. It's not freedom. It's an illusion of freedom. It's an illusion of having a choice.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
Alright, and we are back. And we found a couple videos here from YouTube, none of which I've seen before. So we're just going to go ahead and check them out live on air, because this is, in fact, despite what a lot of people would have you believe, this is a free country. We have freedom of speech, and we can play information live on air, and there's nothing anybody can say about it. And I realize the New World Order is working on subterfuge. They're working on using the copyright laws in order to block the truth from getting out. And we're working on things also. We're working on encrypted peer-to-peer underground internet networks. And the truth is going to get out. It's going to seep out no matter what you do. And you may think, well, we made YouTube and we control it. We made Google and we control it. We made all the television stations and we control them. But it won't be long before we're on the television. Without a cable company. Without an antenna. And how are you going to stop that? You're going to start going door to door and checking what people are watching on their TVs? Looking for the little electronic devices that we give them to filter out the lies and bring the truth to them? You're going to start confiscating them or putting them in jail for having an electronic device that filters out the lies? Or suing them for having the device, or suing us for making and selling the devices or giving them out? I mean, how far are you going to go to try and keep people living under the lies, under the deceptions? Because we're going all the way. We're going all the way. We're committed. And if you're not prepared to kill us, you've already lost. So let's start with Benny Hinn. Let's start with Benny Hinn and just see, what information we have here. A portion of this video discusses scientific research suggesting that through the stimulation of the temporal lobes, it is possible to completely reproduce the quote-unquote God experience. We agree that any God experience should not be trusted without testing. Human beings are capable of types of spiritual experiences. What happens after those experiences is the test of true faith. And yes, I'll go partially on screen here. I have seen and heard of plenty instances of people allegedly healed by Benny Hinn who are essentially used on stage. Used for that moment when they have that adrenaline rush or endorphin rush or whatever it is during these quote-unquote God experiences, and then they're back home the next day dying of cancer, same as they always were. They're back home the next day with the same debilitating, problem they had. My sister actually bought into this Benny Hinn stuff until I showed her that he was using an earpiece. And how do we know that? Because somebody actually went in with an electronic device and was intercepting the transmissions that they were transmitting to his ear and recorded it and played it back and showed the footage of him on stage pretending to get that information from God. See, we don't play that game here on Truth Broadcast Network. And a true Christian doesn't have to sit there and use these kind of tactics in order to lead people to Christ. And the ones that do, what are they thinking? Where are they going? Why are they doing it? Is it money? Isn't the love of money the root of all evil? Isn't that what the Bible says? Doesn't it say that a rich man will pass into heaven as a camel passes through the eye of a needle? You don't see me sitting here with a Bible. I'm not looking this up. I just got back from the Mexican restaurant. I just know these things because I live them. That's why we don't collect money. We're not in this for money. I got a shirt. I got a pair of pants. The Lord has blessed me with what little I have to do what I'm doing now. And I don't want a bunch of money. I'm not trying to make a bunch of money. I'm not trying to make any money. I'm trying to do what is morally right. Not what's legally right. And that's why I'm so dangerous. That's why I'm a threat. because I don't give a flying fuck about the law. I will do what is morally right no matter what the law says, no matter what lawsuits are threatened. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do what I'm going to do because it is the right thing to do. And it doesn't matter if you sue me in court. It doesn't matter if some judge says I got to pay you a bunch of money, especially if I don't even have it. Because the damage that's going to be done to you in the court of public opinion, that's going to be uploaded in videos, that's going to be in articles all over the internet, will harm you so much more than you could ever harm me through a lawsuit. You're shooting yourself in the foot. Do you know that? Personally, I don't feel sorry for you because I think you're running a racket. And I intend to expose it. It doesn't matter what you do. I'm still going after you. I was always going after you. Because you're a bunch of frauds. And that's what we do on Truth Broadcast Network. Anyway, let's continue reading this. Most modern religious leaders, such as Benny Hinn, promote faith as a spiritual coin that must be inserted into a vending machine. God for the faithful to get their desired result. Wait, that didn't make much sense. They must be inserted into a vending machine. Alright, whatever. We believe that faith is trusting in God no matter what the circumstances, the producers of whatever this is. And this is a video on YouTube called The Many Faces of Benny Hinn. And it says 1. I don't know how late I'm going to go tonight. I'm not hearing anything back from Ann, so I guess she's not coming on at 11. I didn't intend to do a 2-hour show, but the coffee's only half gone. I could go all night. I do want to be clear about one thing from the outset. I'm not here to expose Christianity. Christianity is real. God is real. But I will expose the people who are trying to get between you and God, the people who are trying to lead you away from it. Because they're the worst of the worst. Let's see what this video is.
Preachers who live in big homes and drive big cars are to re-examine their calling.
Let me tell you something, brother. You watch it.
I want to take my dead loved one and place them in front of that TV set for 24 hours. I've never claimed to be a Messiah. I'm a little Messiah walking on earth, in other words.
If the Lord had television today, he'd use it.
Jesus never asked for money. Why do you?
Well, Jesus didn't have a TV program. And I've had my share of things I've said that were stupid. And a man was raised from the dead on the platform. That's a fact, people.
When the power flows, it flows. Just don't walk in front of the cameras.
Under this anointing, everything I say happens.
Fire! Fire!
Somebody has a tumor right under your left arm. The Lord just healed it. Now, don't touch that set. Somebody was about to switch me off.
On a 2-hour Dateline Sunday, he claims he can cure the sick. Hallelujah. Critics say the only miracle may be the millions he's making.
It's time to begin telling the truth.
Pastor Benny Hinn. Calling down miracles and raising millions, he says, for God's work. But what happens to people who believed they were healed? And what happens to some of those donations? Ministry documents and inside sources tell us about shopping sprees, private jets, and luxurious living. And what does Pastor Benny Hinn say?
Why will you not audit and publicly release your finances?
Though Hinn refuses to make his financial information public, he has said that every dollar given to his ministry goes to the work of the Lord. Be that as it may, Benny Hinn does manage to live very well. His home is this mansion overlooking the Pacific Ocean, built and paid for by his ministry. According to building records, it has 7 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, and more than 7,000 square feet of living space. The ministry told us the mansion was its parsonage and a good investment. According to area realtors today, it's worth about $10 million. And when Hinn goes to crusades around the world, he travels in this private jet. According to documents we obtained, the ministry pays more than $112,000 a month to use the plane. And closer to home, Pastor Benny still travels in style. This photo obtained by Dateline shows him getting out of a Mercedes SUV, and here he is driving a Mercedes convertible. Both cars retail for about $80,000. We've received new information from deep inside the Hinn organization, and others have come forward to tell us that we only scratch the surface when it comes to Benny Hinn, his money, and his miracles. Listen to what this former Hinn insider says.
There was never one complete record that would suit the criteria for a documented miracle healing, and that troubled me deeply. To me, this was a fraud and deception being put across the people that are his donors.
And something else came our way since our first report. Hundreds of pages of ministry expense documents. A look at these documents shows that while he's on ministry business, Hinn stays in luxury hotel rooms. At this crusade in Milwaukee, the documents indicate Benny Hinn occupied the presidential suite of the Pfister Hotel. The hotel told us the room cost $990 a night. At a crusade in Panama, the documents show, and we verified with the Intercontinental Hotel, that Hinn was in the Royal Suite. The published rate, $1,700 a night. At a crusade in Montreal, we verified Pastor Benny was ensconced in the Royal Suite of the St. James Hotel. The regular rate there, $2,700 a night. The room is as big as an average house, 2,200 square feet, including a makeup room, dressing room, and a piano that plays by itself. And we found some other trips that seem to have little to do with spreading the word of God. This member of Hinn's security team, who we'll call Steve, and whose appearance and voice we've disguised, says he traveled with Pastor Benny and personally escorted him on shopping excursions. According to Steve and other ministry sources, Hinn is a regular at Beverly Hills clothing stores like Versace, Louis Vuitton, and Bijan, where Hinn's name is on the window along with princes and heads of state. But there are questions raised by some of the purchases we found in those expense documents. For example, in just over 4 weeks in 2003, we found 6 separate charges at high-end clothing stores totaling more than $6,000, all charged on the ministry's corporate card. The ministry told us that every single trip made by Pastor Benny is approved by his executive board. But we were intrigued by what appear to be stops made by Pastor Benny at resorts and spas around the world on his way to and from crusades. The ministry called these stops layovers. Now, for most of us travelers, a layover means long hours waiting for a connection in an unfamiliar airport, maybe an overnight stay at a low-rent hotel. But remember, Pastor Benny travels in the ministry's private jet and sets his own schedule. So consider Benny Hinn's version of a layover. On his way home to California from this crusade in Colombia, the documents show, and the hotel confirmed for us, Pastor Benny stopped at this resort in Cancun, Mexico. He stayed in the presidential suite there that cost the ministry $2,684 for one night. The trip was described as a layover.
Right now.
After crusades in Russia and Sweden in July of 2003, Pastor Benny apparently didn't get on his private jet, fly west, and go home. Instead, he flew from Sweden south to Italy, then back north to England, with an entourage that included his son, his daughter, and her fiancé. There were expensive meals, like this one for more than $900 in Italy, and one at this Lebanese restaurant in London for more than $1,700. And check out these hotel bills. In Italy, transportation charges of more than $6,000. In London, another $6,000 for incidentals, such as chauffeur services and in-room tea. The documents also list tips. In 3 days, more than $4,500 worth, including $1,000 to a concierge and another $1,000 to a desk manager. And then there were Pastor Benny's hotel rooms. In London, the documents show, Hinn stayed at the exclusive Lanesborough Hotel. The hotel confirmed for us it was Suite 210 and told us that they never discount rooms. The going rate, the hotel says, more than $3,000 a night. And then there was Pastor Benny's hotel room in Milan. According to the expense documents, room 1001. The hotel confirmed it's the presidential suite. The hotel website says the room is fit for a prince and the largest hotel suite in Europe. Among its 5,400 square feet, 3 bedrooms, a formal dining room, a fireplace, a jacuzzi, a sauna, a Turkish bath, a large terrace with a panoramic view of the city, and a 100-foot-long swimming pool decorated with marble and frescoes. The hotel told us this room rents for more than $10,000 a night. No discounts. In its email to us, the ministry said that Hinn uses a private jet for security reasons, and that it's often necessary to make layovers to refuel his plane, and for the pilots to rest. Not surprisingly, Hinn critic Ole Anthony has a different view.
It's just a lifestyle. He believes he deserves it. His board of directors says it's okay. So what are you going to do?
And when they rationalize it by saying, after all, he's the head of a $100 million a year organization.
It has nothing to do with it. You're called to be a servant, a bondservant of Christ, not to live like a king.
According to the documents we obtained and ministry insiders, there is also a great deal of cash going out. According to these receipts in 2003, much of it apparently went to Benny Hinn and his family members. This petty cash chit, $1,300 to Hinn's daughter Jessica, no reason given. And this one, $2,550 to her fiance for watching Joshua, Pastor Benny's son. According to the expense documents, in just over a month in 2003, more than $23,000 of ministry cash was dispensed to Pastor Benny and his wife, who's also a ministry employee. And we found this record showing $25,000 in cash dispersed to accompany Pastor Benny and for a crusade in Anaheim, California, just 30 miles from his house.
It's not just Pastor Benny, it's all of these big ministries. They start believing that they are special, and all of that ministry money is their piggy bank.
This is how Pastor Benny explained it to his followers when he declined to speak to us for our first report.
You may have a question, by the way, on why I did not go on that program. Very simple. The Lord said don't.
So we approached Pastor Benny after a crusade in Toronto, and we recorded the encounter with a hidden camera.
Why will you not audit and publicly release your finances?
I've had to sit with you and talk to you about it.
Well, we've talked about this before, and you have not gladly sat. Sir, I've been asking you for an interview for 3 years.
Well, I did not.
And I'm still waiting. And through it all, Pastor Benny maintains that he has truth and God on his side.
Look at these eyes. I have never lied to you. Never. I never will. I'd rather die than lie to God's people.
And what would Christian watchdog Ole Anthony like to say to Pastor Benny?
Your ministry is based on lies. And it's time to begin telling the truth, because you're going to have to meet your Maker soon.
All right, now there may be some people out there wondering, well, you know, are you trying to go after Benny Hinn personally? And the answer to that is absolutely. I'm going to go after every single person who works on Trinity Broadcast Network personally. We're going to investigate every word that they've ever said, every utterance that's ever come out of their mouth, and we're going to compare them to the teachings of Christ. These people portend to be Christians. These people portend to represent, to be a part of the Church of Christ. And as such, they should be held to a very specific standard. Are these people galley slaves for Christ? Or do they worship themselves? And I think we're going to find a very concrete answer to that question. It's going to be very clear and very obvious. And we're going to have an entire section on Truth Broadcast Network dedicated to exposing Trinity Broadcast Network. No matter what happens, I will see that this occurs. So you file your lawsuit. It's not going to stop me. All it'll do is piss me off and make me work against you harder. And God help you if you have any association with a World Council of Churches. I'm out for the night. Death to the New World Order. World Council of Churches. I'm out for the night.
They're signing secret treaties with Canada, with the globalists over there, and with Mexico. It's called the North American Union. They want to get rid of sovereign states. Those are the enemies of our country. You think this Arab Spring is like all of a sudden after 30 years under hosting Mubarak, they said, hey, I got an idea, let's have a revolution. That's not how the world works. There is no such thing as a grassroots movement. Everything is engineered by the New World Order played across your television through the mainstream media, and you sit there drooling on yourselves on your couch, eating your potato chips, thinking you're watching the news. It's nothing but propaganda. What do they say? And in our next story, unrest in Egypt, they took all these nations by sending in New World Order operatives in vetted media. Those are CIA operatives. They trust the youth. They dropped lies with propaganda. They incite them to overthrow the dictator so they can then appoint the New World Order control leader. And now they're working on doing it here. Each party, each president, doesn't matter what so-called party is in charge. These guys looking around all the time, holding agendas for the global elite. This is not a physical battle. Your guns, your ammunition is completely worthless. Why do you think we're sitting here with cameras and bullhorns? This war is inside your mind. You've been deceived over decades. Over decades, the more you get to it, you will find out that you live in a processional matrix that they have created through commercial TV, television. They try to form your opinion. They try to form the perception for something that suits their agenda. We're going to drag you kicking and screaming out of the false reality that will be created for you by Hollywood, by television. Why do you think there's a table? Why is there a table running into your house? How brilliant of a plan was that of the New World Order? To say, hey, I got an idea. Let's form a table into everybody's fucking house and bomb it live into the living room, and then they can sit there in front of a fucking mind-controlled device television. And I know some of you are ex-military yourself. You need to understand it's an agenda of the New World Order to indoctrinate you in boot camp, to indoctrinate you in the military, to get you to follow protocol down to the letter, and maybe get a dishonorable discharge. And then they get you into the police force. After you're fighting in Iraq, after you're fighting in Afghanistan, after you're on Somalia, after you're on Prozac, after you're a mind-control zombie. The popular movement this year came out in public and called for Chinese terrorists officially as domestic terror threat. Imagine that, that's how they think of you. You come out of the army, supposed to be serving your country, and then they call you domestic terrorists. Some of you might be wondering, well, how could these people do this? They're just human, just like you. I know they're not. These people fully believe that they are your God. That's why you're not allowed to look at them. That's why you're not allowed to talk to them. It's obvious. Think about it.
It's a backdrop on stage, actors building an interplay.
Alright guys, welcome to class. Welcome to class. Let's get started.
If you can control the stories, you don't need to have soldiers on street corners. You can control people in their own heads and their own imagination. As long as you can manage and manipulate public perception, you can control public behavior and how the ultimate battlefield really is in the mind.
Over the continent of the United States. I know. You look at me like I'm crazy. Then go home, Google it, and find out you don't know what the fuck is going on. You're drinking the same poison. You're eating the same poison. You bring it
sleep, cause I know that I'm gonna lose my soul, so I go to sleep. I ain't with no see, I ain't bowing to no beast. I ain't living for a beat, I ain't following so shit.
Time's up for some fool. The meetings in 1951. Wind up with the cool cue.
Sounded like Arnold Schwarzenegger. The seeds for your mind, designed to strip your humanity. Make you a crime, permanent, prolonged, fix of insanity. They break you down, take you down, and make you submit. Keep playing around, and make you proud to say it's free.
It's a global agenda. They're all criminals, they're all slime balls. They don't like you, they don't like me, they don't like humanity. They try to get rid of 80% of mankind in the long run. You already know the people point blank. Do not look them in the eye. Do not speak to them unless you've been spoken to first. Why do you suppose that is? That's exactly how they treated the fucking slaves. Because that's exactly what you are. That's what we have all become. We are all enslaved to the New World Order. And it'll never change until people start standing up, spitting in their face, and saying we're not going to have it anymore.